Everybody, and welcome to our webinar, Marketing for Financial Advisors in 6 Easy Steps. My name is Amanda Larson. I'm speaking on behalf of 20 over 10, and I'm joined today by Claire Akins from Indigo Marketing Agency. Indigo is a full-service marketing consulting firm that serves financial advisors based in San Diego, California. So Claire, if you're not familiar with Claire or her agency, Claire is a former investment advisor representative. She has her MBA in marketing from the Rady School of Management at UC San Diego. And she spent her time working with hundreds of advisors to help them leverage technology to grow their businesses. And we're really excited to have her here with us today as we share with you all some 6 easy steps to market your financial planning firm. So welcome again, Claire. We're excited to have you. And before we get started, just a few housekeeping items. If you have any questions throughout this webinar, please feel free to add them in the Q&A panel at the bottom of your screen. Throughout the presentation, we plan to have a Q&A session at the end of the webinar, so we'll address those at the end of the webinar. And for those of you who may need to step out early today, we will be emailing the recording of this presentation out to everyone. So don't worry about that if you need to step out or if you want the slides yourself to hang on to, we will be emailing them out. So with that, Claire, I will let you take it away.
Great. Thank you so much for having me. Thanks to 20 over 10 for hosting this webinar. So today we're going to do something a little bit different. A lot of the webinars that we do take a deep dive on a topic, but today we got the question, give us the 30,000 foot view of marketing for financial advisors. And so we're basically going to go through everything an advisor should know about marketing today from 0 to 60. So if you don't know anything about marketing, or if you haven't updated your marketing strategy in years, this is the perfect place to be to understand everything about what's going on in marketing today and what works for advisors today. So I'm Claire Akins with Indigo Marketing Agency, and I will walk you through a little bit of my background quickly. So I'm a former investment advisor representative, like Amanda mentioned. I have a degree in economics and a master's degree in marketing. I also worked with a company called FMG Suite that provides websites for financial advisors. And I started my own company because I got the question from so many advisors like you of, can't somebody do this for me? I know advisors are really busy and you may not have the proficiency for marketing, or you may not like doing marketing. It's a very different skill set than doing financial planning. And so a lot of advisors out there want to outsource their marketing to somebody who has the technical proficiency and understands our industry and the compliance regulations and everything, all of the challenges that we face to create a cohesive marketing strategy for you, minimizing the amount of time that you have to spend. And so that's what my company does. I'm also the author of the LinkedIn Guide for Financial Advisors and the instructor of the LinkedIn Course for Financial Advisors, which is an online self-study course to learn everything you need to know about using LinkedIn to get new business. And my book, The LinkedIn Guide for Financial Advisors, is available on Amazon now if you want to check that out. So what we're going to cover today is basically a marketing 101 course of what's happening today in a digital world in marketing. We're going to cover some website examples from top advisors. We're going to talk about creating powerful calls to action and building effective landing pages, as well as blogging basics and how to supercharge your entire marketing strategy with social media. So let's talk about the difference that 25 years makes. Now, a lot of people ask me, how did you get into this industry? It's kind of an industry you wouldn't just fall into. Well, it's because my dad has been an advisor for 37 years. And you can see the picture on the left is me when I was 5 years old in the school play. I was an angel. And the picture on the right is when I was 30 years old on my wedding day. Now, the difference 25 years is pretty clear here. But the other thing that has changed in the past 25 years is the internet. And this is a representation of what the internet might look like if you were to graph out all of the connections. And so it's changed everything from the way we find a restaurant to the way people choose their financial advisor to, how we communicate. It's changed everything about our daily lives. And so if your marketing strategy is the same strategy you used 25 years ago, it's definitely time for an update to reflect the changes that the internet has made in our lives. And if you go to the airport or a train station and you look around, you'll see that people's eyes and their ears are on their phones. And if your business isn't being marketed on their phones, then you're definitely missing out. And so we're going to talk a little bit about the importance of a mobile marketing strategy. So we're going to go through these basic 6 steps for your marketing strategy. So the first is to create an amazing website, and 20 over 10, of course, can help you with that. The second is to invest in search engine optimization so that people can find your website online. The third is building a call to action or an easy step that people can take to get started working with you. Then we'll talk about leveraging content marketing, which is the most cost-effective marketing strategy for advisors today, and staying top of mind with email marketing. Finally, we'll talk about how social media marketing can supercharge all of these strategies and kind of be the icing on the cake. But first, I want you to focus. All of these marketing strategies will not work unless you truly have a compelling value proposition. And what I mean by that is to embrace a specialty. Now, think about it this way. If you or your spouse's life was in danger because of a medical condition, would you want to go to urgent care and see whatever doctor was on call, or would you want to find a specialist that could help you with your particular situation? Of course, if your life was on the line, you'd want to work with a specialist. And as you guys know, money is almost as important to people as their health. And so when they're talking about their financial well-being, people really want to work with a specialist who understands them and who can offer the very best advice for them. And so I encourage you to do what it takes to specialize your practice and embrace a true specialty. What you do, who you serve, and how it benefits them. Now, a lot of advisors on their websites talk about their mission statement or who they are or, why they do what they do. That's great, but I want you to turn that around and really talk about the benefit that you offer your clients and how they're better because they worked with you. So I'll give you just a few examples of the advisors that I work with. The first is a fee-only financial advisors helping business owners pursue true wealth. Now, this advisors helps business owners to sell their businesses, to take some chips off the table, diversify financially, and get a better work-life balance. The second is a fiduciary wealth manager helping physicians catch up for retirement in a hurry. Now, he's the master of defined benefit, defined contribution plans to allow physicians to save a lot near the end of their careers. The third is a retirement advisor helping Intel employees secure income for life. Now, this advisor, the only thing he does is work with Intel employees. It's all over his website, all over his marketing. Everyone who knows him knows he's the guy that works with Intel employees. In fact, he even has members of his staff who retired from Intel. So he's just immersed in that specialty, and it works really well for him. So let's talk about creating your specialty. I want to just make a point here about the difference between minimum expectations and true differentiation. So when you think about an airline, the minimum expectation you have when you purchase a ticket on an airline today is they'll get you from point A to point B safely. You really don't even expect today to get there on time. Hopefully you'll get there on time, and a bonus is if your bag arrives with you. And that's the same for a financial advisor. People expect, if they hire a professional financial advisor, that you're going to be experienced and credentialed, that you're going to be trustworthy, that you're going to have reasonable fees. Maybe you're even a fiduciary. But these are not differentiators. These are just minimum expectations. And so when you're developing what makes you different, I want you to pay attention to this and talk about, what beyond this makes you different. Not just kind of reiterating what people expect of a financial advisor that they hire. And so just to kind of go with the airline example, Southwest is my favorite airline. I fly them all the time because bags fly free and they're also fun to fly with. And so they're the only major airline that does not charge a fee to check your bag. It's a true differentiator, and that's what we think of when we think of Southwest. So what do you want people to think about when they think of your business? What makes you different, and who do you serve best? That's what we really want to capture through your marketing strategy. So the first step of this 6 easy steps to create your marketing strategy today is to create an amazing website. Now, 20 over 10 has you covered. They have beautiful websites, and they meet all of the requirements that financial advisors need. What I want you to pay attention to when you're creating your website is that your site is mobile responsive. We know that more than half of traffic to financial advisors' websites today comes from a mobile device, whether it's a phone or a tablet or what have you. It's coming from a mobile device. So if your site isn't mobile responsive, your people coming to your site are not getting a good experience. Now, the difference between mobile responsive and mobile friendly is kind of subtle, but it's important. So a mobile friendly site will look okay on a mobile device, but a mobile responsive site actually changes its design depending on which device people are coming to your site from. And so 20 over 10's designs are all mobile responsive, so that if you're coming from a Samsung tablet or an iPhone, your site is redesigned to optimize that device so it looks great on every single device. So that's really important today. And Google will actually penalize your website if it's not mobile responsive today. You also want flexibility in your website. And I know a lot of you, if you've had a website for over 10 years, you probably used to have one of these older websites that basically were an online business card, and they weren't very flexible or very dynamic. So you definitely want your site to be flexible, to be able to have all of the features that are popular on today's website. And you want it to be easy to use. So you kind of have to make a decision when you're starting out and when you're creating your first website. Do you want to be updating the site yourself? In that case, a platform like 20 over 10 is great because it's easy to use. Or if you're going to have a more complex platform, you're going to be paying somebody to update the site for you. So you just need to make that decision of how are you going to make updates to your site, and make sure that you have an easy way to do that, whether you hire somebody or whether you're able to do it yourself. Finally, let's think about your website's conversion rate. So everything you do in marketing today is going to go through your website, and your website's kind of the fulcrum of your marketing success. And at the heart of that is your conversion rate. And so what I mean by that is how many visitors are coming to your site, how much traffic does your site get, and how many leads result from that traffic. So how many people are actually scheduling an appointment or, picking up the phone and calling you to ask a question about their retirement plan, say. And so on the left, we have 300 visitors a month, which is pretty average for financial advisors today. But just think about if we can increase your conversion rate on your website from maybe 1% to 3 or 5%, it makes a huge difference in the leads that you get each month. And I know a lot of advisors out there like you have an incredibly high conversion rate. Once you actually sit down with a prospect, you may convert 70, 80, 90% of the prospects that you sit down with. And so having more appointments is going to make a huge impact on your business. And that's why your website's conversion rate is so important. So how can you increase your conversion rate? Well, there's a couple of things that we're trying to do when we talk about increasing the conversion rate. The first is to better capture attention. So we don't want people to come to your site and then do what's called a bounce, which is just leave. We want to capture their attention quickly and kind of hook them in. And then we want to lower the emotional stakes. You know that financial planning can be an emotional and complex, overwhelming topic. People are worried that they're going to have to dig up their tax returns for the past 7 years, and they're going to have to talk about death and dying and life insurance, and it just gets really overwhelming for people. So we want to lower the emotional stakes of taking the first step. So maybe they can schedule a 15-minute phone call to ask you a couple questions about their 401k plan before they get into a comprehensive financial plan where they have to dig up their old documents and think about when they want to retire. And then we want to offer an easy next step, preferably a step that they can take 24 hours a day, 7 days a week. So when it's Tuesday night at 11 p.m. and they're on your website, they can actually schedule an appointment. So here are 4 quick tricks to a high converting website. These are just things that I want you to have on your website to really convert at the highest rate possible. The first is your differentiator, which we talked about. And then the second is the sample financial plan. The third is case studies. And the fourth is a way to make it personal. And I'll show you what I mean here. So first, your differentiator. What one urgent problem do you solve for a specific group? And I want this to be front and center on your homepage in 1 sentence or less. So take a look after the webinar at your homepage and see if you are hitting this home with 1 sentence on your homepage so people understand exactly what you do. Here's a couple examples that you could put on the front page of your website. So helping business owners retire with true wealth, retirement planning for certified registered nurse anesthetists, guiding breast cancer survivors to financial independence. And so these are 3 real life advisors who are my clients that really capture exactly what they do on their homepage. We want the visitor's reaction when they come to your site to think, this advisor will understand my unique situation. You know that feeling when you are working with someone and you realize, wow, I don't have to explain my entire backstory to them. They get it. That's such a good feeling that people want today. And so we want them to go to your site and say, oh my gosh, they're going to understand me. They're going to get me. They're familiar with my industry or with my company or with my financial challenges. That's what we want people to feel like when they come to your homepage. The second thing is seeing a sample financial plan. And it's so funny to me that, we all understand intuitively that we want to see what we're buying, but so few advisors have a sample financial plan on their website. People want to know, what am I going to be buying at the end of the day or at the end of this process? What am I going to walk away with? And so featuring a sample financial plan on your homepage is a great way to get people engaged and to help them understand the way that you work with clients. This is an example of an advisor who has a quick video about what makes them different in a sample financial plan button right under that. And that button gets so many clicks. When we look at his Google Analytics to see the traffic to his site, it is incredible how many people go right to the sample financial plan. So it's a great way to reel people in. The third idea is case studies. So what types of clients do you serve and how do you help your clients? Now, of course, we can't use testimonials in our industry, but that doesn't mean we can't explain how you've helped clients in the past. And featuring case studies on your website is another really popular way to hook people in and to help the reader understand how you've helped people like them. Now, I'll show you what I mean. And this is one advisor that I work with that has a case study on his site. You can see it's the most visited page on his website. So this is a screenshot from Google Analytics, and you can see all the different pages of his website. Far and away, more than double is these case studies. And so they're really popular. People love to read them. And so we want to give, your website viewers what they're looking for and do it in the form of a case study. The first case study I'll show you here on the left was tackling complex executive compensation. And so this advisor works with LGBT couples who want to ensure their partner or spouse is taken care of if one of them prematurely passes. And so this goes through the case of one of their clients that came to them with this challenge, how they solved it, and it's a great story. The one on the right is managing an unexpected inheritance. And so this is a great story of, somebody who came into wealth unexpectedly, wasn't sure what to do with it, and they were able to meet all of the client's long-term needs through this financial plan that they created. And so, it could be anything that you do to help clients, but creating a case study on how you help is a very powerful way to help people understand why they need to work with you. And then the fourth idea to increase your website's conversion rate is making it personal. And so if you go to my website, you'll see a video of me talking about my story, why I work with advisors, how I'm passionate about this industry. I really believe in the work that you guys do. I believe it's really important work. And so it's my goal to help you guys reach as many clients as possible. So creating that same story on your own website is a great way to have a virtual first impression where people can start to decide, do I know, like, and trust this advisor? What's their motivation? And once people understand why you do what you do, they start to feel like they can trust you. And so that's why it's so powerful to have a personal blog post or video. Here's one great example. This is Steve Hutchison with Hutchison Family Offices. And you can check out his video on his website. Just Google for it, or I can send you a link if you have questions, you want to see this video. But it's so powerful because he talks about why he became a financial advisor. He was raised by a single mother. He was poor. They grew up in a trailer park. And he decided that he didn't want anybody that he knew to have to go through that. He wanted to change people's lives so that the people that he cared about would be financially independent. And so he set out to do that when he was, I think, 22 years old, and he's been working hard ever since. And so it's an incredible video, and it just tells his story in a way that really resonates with clients and prospects. If you don't want to take the time and the money to create a video, you could certainly just do this process with a blog post. And every advisor who works with my firm does their very first blog post is why I became a financial advisor, and it always gets tons of views. And this story is Ricky Beal out of Pasadena, California. He has a great story. When he was 12 years old, he didn't get any Christmas presents, not one Christmas gift. And at that point, he just, something snapped in him and he decided, I am going to become financially independent and teach as many people as possible how to do so. And so his Why I Became a Financial Advisor blog post is such a great story. People love it. And so I encourage you to come up with your own story or video blog post about why you became an advisor. So let's talk about the second step. So we want to spend a little bit of time and money investing in search engine optimization. Now, I know that your email inbox or your spam box is probably full of SEO offers from companies in India. That's not the search engine optimization that I recommend. So I want you to work with somebody local, somebody here in America, somebody who can focus on local SEO. So we're not trying to get your website to come up for a nationwide search for the best financial advisor. We're trying to come up for the keywords that describe your business in your location. So maybe it's retirement planning, maybe it's financial planning, maybe it is financial planning for government employees. Whatever your specialty is, we want your website to come up for those keywords. And there's a lot we can do from an SEO perspective to legitimatize your site in the eyes of Google. And it's a lot like for financial consumers having a credit report. That's basically what SEO is. It's a credit report for your website. And so we want to do the basic things like paying your bills on time and having, an established mix of credit. We want to register your business with Google, the Chamber of Commerce, the Better Business Bureau. We want to make sure that all of your information is accurate across all of your listings. And that one-time process can have a huge impact on your rankings in Google. And so I actually have a search engine optimization package if you need help with SEO for your website. But here's just a simple example of how it works. So before, this advisor was on page 3 of a Google search for financial advisor, and his listing was number 24th. And this is a pretty small town in Wisconsin. And so he should not have been 24th because they're one of the bigger firms in his area. So they definitely should not have been on page 3 of the rankings. So after we did these basic things to put his business on Google, he was ranking on the first page as listing number 3 for financial advisor in his area. And so that's important because if you're in the top 3, you actually show up in the right-hand side here on the map listing. It's called the Google 3-pack. And so they'll suggest the top 3 businesses for your Google search. And so once you get to the top 3, you're pretty much golden. And so that is the results of the one-time SEO package that we did. And so I just encourage you to, every time you move locations or every time you get a new website, to invest a little bit in local SEO. So step 3 is building your call to action. So when somebody refers a client to your business, what is the next step that they should take? Do your clients even know, how do they make an introduction? What is the next step they should take? Do they call you? Do they set up an appointment? What happens? We want to make it crystal clear exactly what the first step is. And so here's some, it could be different for everybody, but here's some call to action examples for advisors. So it could be a 15-minute Q&A phone call. It could be a risk questionnaire. So you have Riskalyze on your website and you want to use that as your call to action. It could be a in-person Social Security review appointment, maybe a free financial plan, maybe a complimentary business valuation. This is one advisor I work with that provides complimentary business valuations to start creating comprehensive financial plans for his business owner clients. And maybe it's, find out how much you're paying in 401k fees. Maybe it's a quick survey where they put in information about their 401k plan. And so whatever it is, you want to just create an easy to understand call to action to get people to take the next step. Then you want to build it in the form of a landing page. Now, 20/10 is such an awesome platform because they have easy to set up landing pages where you can actually build your call to action on a page of your website. Now, here on the right is the simplest example of what I mean. Schedule an appointment, meet with us for a custom listening session, and get your personalized strategy. So that's the easiest simplest call to action landing page that you could think of. But you could, of course, customize it and make it more complex. But what we want to do here is explain the benefits of taking the next step and add a link to your calendar scheduler so people can just click to get on your calendar, and then create a direct link so you can publish it on your business cards, you can share it on your email signature, you can share it with clients. And so if you want to see one example of a landing page, go to indigomarketing.com, indigomarketingagency.com/offer. And so that's what I mean. So maybe yours is yourwebsite.com/meeting or /get started now. And so in your meeting page, we want to lower the emotional stakes. So we talk about, how people get a little overwhelmed with financial planning. We want to lower the stakes and make them feel like it's an easy next step that they can take 24 hours a day. So include how you start working with clients, whether it's a phone call, whether it's in person, the questions you ask, the topics you discuss, what prospects can expect. Will they walk away with a financial plan? Will they walk away with a roadmap? What will they expect? What will they walk away with? What do they need to bring? And I recommend not having them bring very much because that makes it easier for them to take the first step. The questions that you'll answer for them and how to get started now. And so here's an example of a couple meeting pages. This one is a free 30-minute introductory meeting where it has a couple questions that she answers and a schedule now button. This one on the right is an advisor who works with faculty at Texas A&M University. And so they put in their name, their email, the department that they're in, their phone number, and some information. And so whatever landing page you create, just, have your photo, have a button for them to get started now. So it's an easy next step. So when you're building your landing page, include a catchy headline, an image, preferably of you, so they know, who they are expecting to meet with. Maybe it's if you have a team of advisors, whichever advisor that they're booking an appointment with. Explain the benefits of meeting with you. Keep it really short so people don't get lost on this page. And then a get started now button, a big button that they can hit to, start their financial future. So step 4 is leveraging content marketing. So we have your website set up. We have it, optimized for search engines, and we have an easy next step built for people to take the next step. Now we're going to focus on luring people in with content marketing. So inbound marketing is at the heart of a content marketing strategy. So instead of advertising or outbound marketing, maybe you used to do seminars where you would do a direct mailer to everybody in a certain zip code, or maybe you did radio or TV ads. Instead of doing outbound advertising, we want to do inbound marketing where people can find you when they need you most. So what that means is creating content that earns their attention. So it's valuable, it's current, it's educational, it's entertaining, and it feels gift-like. So I want you to give away 90% of what you know to people for free. So what's the first thing I'm going to do if I get an amazing report on how to optimize my benefits package where I work? If I think it's truly valuable, I'm going to forward it to my coworkers. So you want your content to be so valuable that people freely share it with their network because it feels gift-like. So we want to answer their most pressing questions. So the way to do this is think about, your most recent 5 clients that you brought on. What are the questions that they asked you? Did they have questions about Social Security, or maybe the life insurance question, or maybe, they want to know whether or not they should keep their annuity? Whatever their most pressing questions are, that is a piece of content that you should think about creating and disseminating. So my dad works with a lot of widowed and divorced women. And so one of the reports that we created was to address this question: what do I do when I'm widowed? And so we created this report for him, the first financial steps for widows to take. And this is something that his clients share with their friends and family when they are widowed. And it's this great reference for them about what they should do. And then, of course, they can follow up with him with any questions. So the goals of content marketing are simple. We want to position you as the subject matter expert in this unique subject of your specialty. We want to give away 90% of what you know for free. And then we want to prompt specific questions. So maybe you review Social Security in 2017, but then you offer to do a specific review because, of course, people are going to have questions about their full retirement age and their benefit, and should they work another few years or should they delay taking benefits? So always offer to answer their specific questions and start the conversation. So I have an easy way for people to get in touch with you after they read your content. So the fifth step is staying top of mind with email marketing. Now, I know social media is so hot right now and everyone's telling advisors that they need to be on social media, and it's true, but don't forget about email marketing. It is the bread and butter of our marketing strategy today. The advisors that I work with have 70% of their leads come from their email marketing. So over 90% of US consumers check their email every single day. I know I do, you probably do too. 70% of advisors' leads come from email marketing, and you can email up to once a week to stay top of mind without people unsubscribing from your emails. So it's really interesting. The unsubscribe rates for email marketing don't increase when you email once a month versus when you email once a week. So they only increase significantly once you email more than once a week. So you want to email up to once a week to stay top of mind. Here is the perfect marketing email. So you'll see a lot of different email newsletters, but I just want to run through the basics of best practices for email marketing today. The first is that you only want to send one topic per email. Now, this is because if you have a newsletter that has several different topics, people tend to save it to read later, and then later never comes and they never read it. So we want it to be just one topic so that people can read about this topic, understand it, they feel like a hero, they feel like they've accomplished and understood something, and we all can move on with our day. And so one topic per email is kind of the industry standard now for email marketing. Make sure the sender is someone the recipient knows. So make it your name or the name of the advisor that they work with, not your firm's name. Customize the pre-header text so that it gives you a little context and a link to view the email online. If you use Constant Contact or MailChimp, these are already populated for you. And then have a logo on your header of your email that links to the homepage of your website. So when people, maybe they forget who you are, they can click on the logo and remember, oh yeah, this is from Gateway Financial Advisors. Have a headline that asks a question with a power word. And so we always want these questions of your email marketing to kind of evoke an emotional response and engage people. So did you know I run on referrals? No, I didn't know that. So then have a relevant branded graphic that links directly to your blog post, a teaser text below that. So we don't want to put the whole article in your email. We just want to have a teaser text so people click through and they're on your website where they can learn more about you, they can consume other articles, they can make an appointment, what have you. And then we have a button call to action that links directly to your blog post. So basically the image, the teaser text, and the button all link to the same thing. They're all driving people to consume this blog post on your website. And then we want to feature your social media buttons so people can connect with you on Facebook, LinkedIn, Twitter. And then, of course, your compliance required footers that have an unsubscribe link so that we are complying with federal spam laws. And this is automatically populated for you in any of the major email marketing systems today. So this would be a perfect marketing email that you would want to send out up to once a week with a different subject each week. So the last step is supercharging with social media. So social media is important, but the reason that it's important is because this is where people spend a lot of time. And so you see this graphic here is the minutes per social media site per user in January. So this is kind of terrifying. People are spending 405 minutes per month on Facebook, spending 17 minutes on LinkedIn and 21 minutes on Twitter. And so we want to be on these social media websites because that's where people are spending their time. So it's another way to get in front of people. So the first step to getting everything squared away on social media is we are going to want to optimize your profiles across all of the social media platforms. And so you're going to claim a page and make your profile look great on every social media platform so that if someone comes to your website, say they're a referral and they come to your Facebook page, we want it to be as strong as your website. Or say they go to your LinkedIn profile. We want to have the same cohesive branding across all of your profiles. So the first is your LinkedIn profile. And so here's one example. The second is your LinkedIn company page. So you want to have an individual profile for every advisor or team member of your office. And all of these personal profiles link to your LinkedIn company page. And so this is important to do both so that you're well represented there. And then on Facebook, of course, you have your personal Facebook profile where you watch your cat videos, but we also want you to have a Facebook business page where your business is represented. And so you can have your logo and you can even have, your professional headshot as the profile picture for your business page, but we want to make sure that it's a separate business page, that it's not your personal profile. Then you want to claim your Twitter profile. And of course, here's another example where it looks cohesive with all these other profiles, but this is his Twitter page. From there, once you've claimed all of your social media profiles, you can share content up to once a day. And so this is the advisor that offers free business valuations, and he helps business owners. And so here's a post about an ESOP for him. And so you can share content every single day on social media because you're not interrupting people like you are with an email where you only want to email once a week. For social media, people just sign on and they'll browse through their newsfeed, and only your most recent posts will show up in their newsfeed, so you don't have to worry about posting too often to social media. And then you want to track your progress. So if you haven't already signed up for Google Analytics, it's free. It connects to your website to show the traffic on your website. So it shows not only how much traffic is coming to your site, but what people are doing on your site, and more importantly, where they came from. And so I actually have a course, Google Analytics for Financial Advisors, if you're interested in getting that set up. I know you'll find it fascinating. Most advisors that I work with find Google Analytics fascinating to see, how people are getting to your site, what are they doing on your site, and what's working. So if you notice, like this advisor, Facebook is providing 90% of your social network traffic, you're really going to want to double down on your Facebook marketing strategy. So all of this is aimed at, first of all, increasing your website conversion rate, but then your email marketing, your social media marketing are aimed at increasing your traffic. So by working on both of the left-hand sides of this equation, we can affect the right-hand side of this equation. And so in the first version of this slide, each of these examples had 300 visitors per month. But what if using email marketing and social media marketing, we got you up to 500 visits per month to your website? And then what if we increased your website conversion rate from 1% to 5%? Now you have 25 leads to meet with that month. That's almost a lead every single day. And if you have that high conversion rate, once you actually meet with people, you can get a serious book of business built in a short time using this strategy. Of course, you're going to want to customize your strategy for your unique business, but this basic mechanics that I've kind of gone over here will work for any type of marketing strategy. You just want to customize it to your specialty. So if you want to learn more, I know that we covered a lot today and you probably have questions. You can check out my exclusive courses at indigomarketingagency.com/courses and join my newsletter. I send out blog posts every single week for independent financial advisors to boost their marketing strategy, and I give away 90% of what I know for free. You can always request a blog post on a certain topic or ask me questions and I'll get back to you. So join my newsletter at indigomarketingagency.com/newsletter and connect with me on LinkedIn. I love to stay in touch on LinkedIn. I post all of my articles and all of my content on LinkedIn, so you can sign up for my monthly webinars and ask me a question there. With that, I will turn it over to Amanda with any questions.
Great. Thanks so much, Claire. That was awesome. It looks like we do have one question from Paul. So Paul Bergdorf asks, what's a current best practice to obtain email addresses for your email marketing?
Great. Yeah, and that's a great question. So your email list is definitely the core of your marketing, and it's important to build this list over time. Now, it's hard to create an email list. It's something that you are going to want to tap into your clients, your prospects, your friends, family, everybody that you know. Now, I recommend adding every single person's email address that you know to your email list and sending them emails on a regular basis to keep you top of mind. And the reason for this is because everyone you know, even if they're not a client, can still refer you business. And so we want people to be aware of what you do and how you help so that when they come across somebody who needs your help, they can refer you business. I don't recommend buying an email list because of spam laws today. You wouldn't want to purchase a list and start sending unsolicited emails to those people because it's, again, spam laws. And so you want to build your email list organically, ask people to join, maybe create a report that people can download by entering their email address. That's called a lead capture. And so you can have that on your website where maybe people want to download a valuable report or watch a webinar. And to do so, they enter their email address and you are building your list that way.
Great. On the topic of email distribution, Luis asks, do you have a recommendation for the best email distribution service between MailChimp, Constant Contact, all those providers?
Sure, that's a great question. I really like MailChimp. It's free up to 2,000 contacts. It looks great. The designs are great. It's easy to use. So that's what I recommend. That said, there are some broker dealers that require advisors to use Constant Contact. And I have worked with advisors who find that Constant Contact is easier for them to use. And so you may want to try out both. Definitely ask your compliance department first. But either Constant Contact or MailChimp are my two favorites.
Great. So Paul also is asking about CTAs. So he's interested if we could review your CTA slide again, and also ask how many CTAs should you have? Should you have more than one?
Sure. That's a great question. You don't have to stop at one CTA. You could have a few different CTAs. And let me just go back to this. Yeah. So here is some of the CTA slides we went through. So it could be, maybe you have a few, and we want to give somebody who is at every step of the buying process an appropriate next step. So maybe they just came to your website for the very first time today. Maybe an appropriate next step for them is reading a blog post or watching a video. And so at the end of each of your blog posts, you're going to want to link to a related post or a webinar or a video. And then maybe somebody has been coming to your website for a year and now they really want to schedule an appointment. So creating those kind of varied and layered calls to action are a great way to have an appropriate next step for everybody.
Great. So when we talk about social media for financial advisors, Trevor asks, have you seen advisors using Instagram? Is that becoming a popular thing, or is it not really the platform where advisors need to have a preference?
Sure, that's a great question. Instagram is becoming very popular in the world. There's a lot of people out there using it. That said, I haven't seen too many advisors. I have seen one advisor who's effectively using Instagram. It's something that you do have to post to every day. It's kind of a lifestyle branding mechanism. So I'm not sure you would get a lot of leads, but you would be supporting your brand and supporting kind of that top of mind awareness. So it's definitely an option. Of course, you'll want to check with compliance, but it's an option, and it's something that I do expect to increase in the future.
Great. That's a great question. So Ken is asking your thoughts on canned content. So canned marketing content versus original content. What are your thoughts there?
Sure. Yeah, and that's a good question. So canned content is, what we call evergreen content. It's sort of compliance, pre-approved content that can go out automatically. Now, I would say that it's definitely better than nothing. And so if you just don't have the time or the budget to create your own content, then it's better than nothing. But it is kind of noise. And I think there's this backlash just in marketing today that we're all kind of tired of, getting recipes from our real estate agent. We want relevant, hard-hitting content that's actually interesting to us and valuable. And so I do encourage you to, take it a step further, specialize, and then create custom content around your specialty.
Great. Well, we're running right on time. So if there's any other questions that anyone has, please put them in the Q&A box. It looks like we've answered all of your questions up to this point, but please put them in if you've got any more. We've got a few more minutes together. Just as a reminder, we will be emailing out this presentation to everybody, so you can kind of refer back to it at a later date. Paul asks, on the topic of content, do you recommend any content creation firms?
Sure. Yeah. So there's a lot of content creation firms out there. My firm certainly creates content. We create, blog posts, webinars, and reports for advisors. But then again, there's also Platinum does a great job. Peter Montoya does a great job. So there's a variety of different offerings out there. So just check them out. Look to see examples of content and pick which firm kind of resonates with you. If you like their style of writing and you like their style of content.
Great. Well, it looks like those are all of the questions that have come in. Claire, I believe there was a poll that maybe we wanted to run at the end of the presentation. So if you look at the bottom of your screen next to the participants, there should be a button that says poll. Do you see that?
Yeah, I see the button, but it is not, looks like it's not working for me. It's not populating a poll.
Okay.
So I'm not sure. But yeah, I think The poll was basically if you'd like to join my newsletter, we were going to allow you to easily opt in here. And so that would have been great. But if you'd like to join the newsletter, you can go to indigomarketingagency.com/newsletter and opt in that way. And you will get a free gift. We're giving away $400 off your first content marketing package. So if you're interested, you can sign up that way.
That's great. And like we mentioned, we'll be emailing this presentation out to everybody. So we'll also be sure to include that link in the follow-up email just so you can access it that way as well. Great. Well, Claire, is there anything else you wanted to cover today?
I think that's it. Thank you so much for having me, and thank you all for watching.
Great. Thank you, everybody. Have a great rest of your day.